Welcome, everybody, to our daily energy prayer. My name is Jona Bryndis, and we come together every day to pray. Energy prayer, because we are using this time, these 15-20 minutes every day, to consciously arrive and to feel our own energy, to feel our own part in the prayer. Yeah, so welcome. If this is the first time you're joining, there's going to be an interactive part where we actually decide what we want to pray for. So you might already sort of contemplate a little bit about what you want to focus on, what you want your prayer to focus on, how you want your words to become alive in this communion with the divine, with the source of all existence, higher power as you understand it. And I already see the first of you arriving. I see you guys coming from Canada, from Denmark. Wonderful to have you guys here. Yes, let us know what country you are watching and participating from. It's very, very powerful every time we remember that these events, you may think what you want to think about social media, I probably agree with you, but that they also allow us to have this beautiful opportunity to bring people together that otherwise would never, ever come together, for spending these few minutes a day. For some of you it's in the morning, for some of you it's in the evening, in this conscious contemplation and really deeply feeling within. I'm very honored that you spend your attention to me. I just want to send out a quick reminder that today on Fridays I am continuing the live stream with the energy update for week 39 called Revelation now, actually. This might not be the exact same experience that you came here for, so you'll have an opportunity to leave. In that energy update, I'm going to talk about these energies that are coming in here for this next week, how to best navigate them, energy tips for you that allow us to deal with these extremely intense and pivotal transformations that are going on in our collectives right now, with more grace, with gracefulness. And so I would like to call our prayer today gracefulness. Yeah, the way we navigate the challenges and opportunities that are coming in for each and every one of us in different ways, obviously. Yeah, it's wonderful to see you guys all. It's very humbling. So let's start our energy prayer in this systematic way that we do this, with arriving at first. Yeah, it's very important for us to recognize that any kind of focus needs to be preceded by us actually having the intention to be fully here, to fully arrive. And the fastest way to do this is through our physical body. Yeah, to get out of our minds into our physical bodies. And I recommend that you guys all feel your feet touching the ground. Yeah. Rub your hands as fast as you can, feeling these energies of friction speeding up through the heat that is developing, and using this high-speed energy to clear your headspace, to clear your energies, no matter whether you are aware of energies or whether you can see energies. Make it your will. Decide that this is clearing your mind. Take a deep breath. Remember that the breath of life, that brings the oxygen in, that enlivens you, is something that we do unconsciously. And by making the unconscious conscious, by making our breathing conscious, we are allowing our body and our consciousness to join. Yeah? If you really, really take the time to feel into this, you can actually feel how this breath is doing something. And then I recommend that you hold the breath a little bit, just to really hone in on your intention to be very, very conscious and aware right now. And then to release the breath in a very conscious way. As energy healer, I always remind people that the out breath, the moment where you actually release all these energies, is also the moment where you release a lot of tension. You can decide to release all your thoughts that way as well. Some of you know this. I teach mindfulness classes for children. And a client yesterday was interested in learning this, and I decided this morning, if you give me this extra minute, to teach the starfish meditation technique to you. This is what I teach to kindergarten kids, all the way up to 5th grade, to get them used to spending these few minutes in conscious contemplation without sort of testing their attention span. This is how this goes. It's super, super simple. You won't believe how simple it is and how well it works even for us grown-ups. I tell the kids, take your hand and look at your hand. Doesn't it look like a starfish? And they'll all look at me, and at first they'll go like, yeah. So kids have this beautiful, unfiltered imagination. So this is the starfish. And when we do the starfish meditation, we are tracing our fingers. We're using, I need to adjust this so that you can see this a little better. We are using our one hand as the starfish and the other hand as the one that traces the starfish. And the cool thing about this is you can do this while you close your eyes. So I want you all to close your eyes. Take your right hand up, take your left hand, pinky finger, and now trace your starfish. And whenever you go up, you breathe in. Then you hold it for a little bit. And whenever you go down, you breathe out. Again. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Breathe in. Make sure your belly extends when you breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe out a little longer than you think you need. Like push out all the air, the old air that's in your lungs. And then one last time. Breathe in. Hold it. And a really, 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 really long out breath. I don't know if you like this, but even as a visualization, it works really well. The reason why this works so well with us has to do with the design of our nervous system, because when you actually touch yourself, you are giving yourself a feedback, and it allows your nervous system to not just feel your boundaries, where you start and where you end, where your beginning and your end is, but also to connect your left and right hemisphere, to connect your masculine and feminine, to connect the immortal part with the mortal part of you, to connect your soul with your body, to connect your fear with your faith. It has many, many functions, and this is also why we have this ritual that when we pray, we put our hands together. Whichever way works the best for you, is irrelevant. What is more relevant is that you understand that what is actually happening in your body when you do this. Okay? So, consciously connecting with your body and with both your body parts is basically you standing right in the middle of your inner duality, of your inner divisiveness. And in that state, now that you've arrived, you can do a much more conscious alignment to whom or what you actually want to address your prayer to. What are you aligning your act of humility, your act of sending grace and receiving grace, your worship to? And since this is a non-denominational energy prayer, you have the freedom here to choose what you align your energy to. Higher power as you understand it. And as you do this, you focus on the love, the peace. And maybe also right now, especially the relief that you feel when you're actually fully present here, when you show up with your higher power, with your guardian angel, with God, with Jesus, with Yahweh, with Muhammad, doesn't matter. When you show up with your higher power, you are standing in your higher power. And this is something that many of us forget when we interact with higher power through our prayer. It's a mutual reception. It's a two-way street. And the reason why so many people have issues with spirituality and religion is because of the way they understand it. And the way we tend to understand things is the way how we have learned them, how they were portrayed to us. If God or Jesus or grace was taught to me in a punitive way, or in a frightening way, or in a righteous or judgmental way, then it is understandable that we have issues with this when we get a little older and more mature, because this is no longer really what we feel is conducive for our inner grace. Many of you are seeking answers elsewhere, in esoterics and New Age, energy work, which is a very, very beautiful exploration and a sign of your spiritual freedom. But at the end of the day, you have to understand what it is that you're communing with, because you serve the spirit that you understand. And this is something that is crucial right now. Because if we haven't really defined this for ourselves, what spirit we are serving, maybe we only understand right now, due to the bombardment that we are mortal with a mortal body, and that there is nothing beyond this mortal body amid all this scare, all this fear around Corona and the potential consequences, maybe losing your job, losing a loved one, not being able to travel, not being able to connect with people. And my suggestion for you is, when it comes to gracefully navigating through times like this, where not only our minds and our understanding is challenged, but also our faith, is to really go into this, what it actually is that you deem important to you, that you deem sacred to you, that you recognize as higher power, that you recognize as this power of grace that we can all tap into once we understand it. The unconditional love of equality, of freedom, of truth, and of allowing all of us to be human. Once you understand this fully, you have no doubt in regards to what spirit you serve. But when you are afraid of losing money, or losing your worldly belongings, or your worldly life, which taps directly into your nervous system, which is understandable. But if you see yourself merely as a bag of flesh that has an expiration date, then the spirit you serve, the spirit you understand, is not the one that nourishes your soul, that infuses your heart with grace. It is a different spirit, something like a machine spirit, something like a performance spirit, something like a humanless, empathyless spirit that transfigures equality with everybody has to be the same. Everybody has to be conform. Everybody has to act according to one and the same spirit. These are little markers that I want to give you on your way here for differentiation. The times that we are in are very testing for all of us, and it is the time of awakening. It is the time of revelation. All right, so we do need to see, and this is seeing, is a spiritual seeing from within our own hearts, what it is that we are interacting with when we focus our thoughts, our emotions, and also our actions on things that energize our fear, that energize the lack and the loss that comes through this spirit, this machine spirit. Okay? In the Bible, there is a word for this machine spirit, and I don't want to sound preachery because I'm not a preacher. We call this mammon. All right? This is basically the misguiding trickery that hijacks the human nervous system and mind into this fear of loss, into the fear of comfort, into the fear of life itself. And the absolute truth is, guys, that there is nothing out there that can prevent the end of this physical life. There is nothing that can save you from actually dying. Okay? But there is a power in you that can save you from giving up your soul and giving up your afterlife, yeah, and giving up your soul purpose. And that is a life in you and beyond your physical life. And this is basically the clarity that we all need to find again. This is where we find grace. This is where we find inner calm and peace. This is the power that can allow us to overcome our fears. Our fears of loss, our fears of dying, our fears of the unknown. So this was a lot of talk here, not to distract you from your own inner process, that I would want to invite you now to help me write this prayer for today. Yes, you know, I used a grace prayer in which we ask for everything that needs to be revealed so it can be healed. And we add our prayer into this, what we want to pray for. What do you want to pray for in our today's daily energy prayer session? I see a lot of hearts. Yes, we should always pray for this love and this abundance. Yes, and the abundant life force. Okay, so abundance, to be able to feel the abundance of life force, because life force is abundant. Yes, so what I hear you ask or pray for is to be able to feel that. Yeah, because that can help us to overcome our fears. Because what is that fear of dying, that fear of loss or lack? Is honing in on, you know, it not being abundant, it being scarce. Yeah. So what we need to ask for is to be able to feel this better. Yes, Cheryl. And the unconditionality of it. Yeah, meaning that we all deserve life force. We all deserve love. We all deserve life. Yes? This is undebatable. We are here. We do exist. Okay? This is the proof that we deserve it. Yeah. And we may feel unworthy if we see ourselves through the eyes of higher power, but if you judge yourself, then you don't understand what true unconditionality actually means. Unconditionality is like that love that a mother or father feels for their child, that a tree feels for each and every leaf, that the planet feels for each and every sentient life here, for all that exists. And being human means being on a mission to learn, being on a mission to experiment, being on a mission to transform this inner divisiveness, this duality, into something higher, into its higher expression that we call love, unconditional love, forgiveness, compassion, and simultaneously recognizing that this is a journey, that this comes with a growth component, just like how we have to watch our children grow, and we have to see them with all that they are and not judge them. If a 3-year-old makes mistakes, walking or starting to learn something new as a parent, you don't say, "Oh my God, you're so bad. How come you still don't know how to speak right?" We send our love, we send our compassion, and we encourage, we empower the 3-year-old to do better. And we challenge it And we give it our support regardless of how much we see it making mistakes. Because it's not about the mistakes. We know that we learn 2.5 times faster through mistakes than through successes. And this is how we learn to tune into these, or this perspective that allows to see ourselves, that allows us to see ourselves through the eyes of the divine. So let's pray for that. Let's pray for being able to feel that unconditionality, to better feel the unconditional and abundant love. That divine provides for us, for me. Do you guys agree? Would you like to add anything to these words before we go into the actual prayer and making our words become alive? Let me see if you can see this on your screen already. Yes, you should be able to see this now. Yeah. Okay. I take your hearts as an agreement. I'm going to turn on some music now, just to help with the background noises, and use my voice for the prayer. For thee I thirst, into your hands I commit my life, my body, mind and spirit, heart and soul. And all my error perceptions. prayers are always most powerful when you actually say them in your own words, so that you can hear your own voice. Say them out loud, yeah, and allow yourself to feel every single word. It's very important. Sometimes your prayers will come out spontaneously. Sometimes you'll forget a part, or you will mix up parts. All that is not important. If you can feel what it is that you are saying in this moment, you are connected to your higher power. Sorry if you couldn't hear my words really well, yeah, but you could feel the words. Wonderful. Thank you all so much for coming to this energy prayer that we do here every morning at 11:30 a.m. Florida time. I am moving on now to the energy tips for week 39. So if you want to leave now, if you have to go to work, if you need to go to bed, do this. There will be a recording of these energy tips.